Welcome everyone, it's Glacier Guy, Rock the Glacier as always. It is the 3rd of February, going to do a studio update, kind of talk about what we've been doing over the last couple weeks and since the last video. As for the last video, we did a quick short showing the end of the Cities of Sigmar box set. Got that all painted finally. That took forever. It was a slog, but we got through it, and I think it looks pretty good now. So what are we going to talk about? Just kind of basically some reveals that have been released over January, some things I've been thinking about, some things I've been looking at, and kind of what we got painted and what, how far we gotten. Not a whole lot of progress. I have been on the road traveling constantly through January, so I've been gone for at least 2 weeks out of the month, so it really cuts into hobby time. And then, when I'm home and I'm only home for like a week or so, got to spend tons of time with the wife, because for whatever reason, she likes me. Anyways, now for the challenge that we discussed in one of the last videos, it is 2024, so the goal is to not buy any Warhammer models in 2024, trying to save some money, and then if we get to the end and we haven't bought any Warhammer models in 2024, then the wife is going to buy me a really nice model. If I fail at any point in time, though, I got to buy her a really cool collector's doll. Now, aside from that, let's see where we're at. So, got our little spreadsheet. We're at 34 days since last bought a model. So that's a lot of days. 1277 assembled and painted, 501 unassembled, and 391 painted. So that's where we're at with our stats. So I started with the Chaos Space Marines right after I finished the City of Sigmar. Got them on the painting table, got them primed black. So far I got the Helldrake on the table, and I got a brick of 30 Fallen, so they're kind of Horus Heresy, Fallen, Dark Angels. And I'm going to use them as Legionnaires for Chaos Space Marines. So I got those on the table, got a couple characters with those. But because of all the travel and all the work and everything, really haven't gotten a whole lot done. But we'll show you that when we get near the end. Now, before that, I do want to talk about a few things that have kind of come out in this month. So mostly it's been a lot of old world stuff. Now, I've discussed old world a few times before. I have an Empire of Man army, or Empire of Men. Yeah, I have an Empire of Men army. And they're on round bases because they were going to use for Age of Sigmar, but now I'm going to put them back on square bases. One of the biggest things I've noticed right now at this exact moment, because it's really fresh, it's only been out for less than 2 weeks, is the base sizes were increased. 20s were set to 25, and so since a lot of base sizes increased, a lot of stores and resellers and either 3D printers or resin like MicroArt Studios and some of those other ones, they don't have they have 25s, but they don't have some of the bigger bases for the cavalry, the heavy cavalry, the artillery. So they don't have some of the larger base sizes, rectangular, that are like fancy. Now, a lot of different places do have the base plastic ones. You can get them on Amazon. They have a bunch of different sellers. Of course, Games Workshop is selling theirs, but theirs only made to order, so you have to order them off their website. Well, not made to order. They're only website exclusive, according to one of my hobby stores I called earlier today. So they can order them, but they can't carry them in stock, at least the square bases. So little run on square bases right now. I think in a few months it'll be fine. Hoping that some of the resin-based companies, either the ones that do it 3D printing or some of the ones that just sell them either mold injected or however they do it, I'm hoping that we can get some square bases for the Empire of Man within the year. But if not, it's fine. I have other stuff to paint, and I think I'm really waiting to see what Empire of Man comes out with as like a release box or something like that. Because I think it'll look pretty cool. More than likely, almost every one of the models for Empire Man were plastic, except for I think the Great Cannon was one of the few ones, and the altar. I don't know if the altar was plastic, but I got almost everything else that was plastic when it was released. So I think the box set will be pretty simple, and it's going to be a bunch of older models, probably a lot of state troops. Maybe some archers, because archers were discontinued a long time ago. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Empire Man for Old World. Now, I only have one army for Old World, and would I get another army in the future in 2025? Probably. I'm thinking orcs. Yeah, because orcs are pretty cool when it comes to the old world. You got the old black orcs. Because the newer Orruk, or the new orcs for Age of Sigmar, there's a few cool Age of Sigmar orcs, but I wasn't super a big fan of them because I really liked the black orcs from the old that one Warhammer Fantasy MMO that was, I forget what that was called, Age of Reckoning, something like that. I forget exactly the game name, but I played that for a little bit when it first came out, and I think the black orcs and the orcs and goblins were a really good combination. And when we went in Age of Sigmar and we lost some of that and we got replaced, I'm not a huge fan of the swampy orcs that are in Age of Sigmar right now. And I know you have the other big boys, but I really kind of want to get back to more of the older fantasy orcs. So if I do make a second army to fight against Empire of Man, it'll probably be orcs. So that'll be cool. But that's 2, 3, 4 years down the road. We're not too worried about that right now. As far as what was kind of revealed, there's a bunch of different things, but for only really the few things I think are kind of cool. Let's transition over here. So we have Solar Auxilia. So I don't know if this is the mythical summer army that's been redacted, and we don't know what the summer army is. I think that might be for 40k, but it could be this. They did announce at LVO that we're getting a plastic release for Solar Aux, and I think that's pretty cool. And in this, we're going to get about 20 Lasgun troops, 1 Leman Russ. Now, one thing they don't talk about at all that I haven't been able to see, I've been reading through this a few times, I don't think the Leman Russ comes with sponsons. And if it does, cool, awesome. I'm all here for it. It looks similar to the current Leman Russ side, so that might actually just be the current plastic Leman Russ outer shell and just like an inner shell that's plastic. That is that's my adorable dog. She's a honky mess, if you hear that. But the turrets look really cool. I like all the different weapon options. I think that's pretty nice. Then we get this cool little Sentinel. I'm not sure what I want to take. I'm not sure if I want to take autocannons or Volkite, but yeah. And then this transport, really liking this transport. You can either take 20 dudes in it, or if you take the battle cannon, you can only take 10 dudes. Oh no, the dog's going away. Nope. Oh no. My wife has absconded with the dog. Bye, love you.
Love you.
Anyway, so we're gonna get this cool transport, and I think these guys are gonna look awesome. They're gonna come out in summer, late spring. So, hoping get this as a birthday present, which would not violate the challenge. But this is probably the only thing at LVO that kind of really got me going. I would say the new Deathwing Terminators have been all the rage. Like, all of my friends have been talking about it, the ones that do play 40k. They've been really excited about just these models. And the one thing that I think is cool about these is I really like the plasma cannon. The problem is like the normal Terminators that the non Dark Angel ones, I don't think they're gonna get the plasma cannon, which is kind of a shame. I kind of think we can get it, or maybe these ones can't take the missile launcher. I'm not sure, but I think the plasma cannon should be universal because it was a pretty cool item. Yeah, so it's kind of it for like January reveals. There was a lot of other stuff, a lot of books and things like that. The last Horus Heresy book came out. There's a big scalper issue going on there, but not too worried about that. Let's kind of get into a short little segment on what I was able to get painted. All right, so we got the Helldrake. Helldrake sub-assembled, and so number one, I have 2 airbrushes. I have a Badger 105, and I have an Iwata Eclipse. It's HP something, and the Iwata really, really, really works really well with Vallejo air paint, either model air or game air. Works great. Never have any problems. Never clogs. The Badger works with pretty much everything. The Badger's the workhorse. It's obviously got the larger needle diameter, and so it'll shoot pretty much any kind of like air-ish thinned paint. But I just didn't want to. I'm like this weird proximity. I used to be a lot closer to hobby stores in my last house, but I'm about between 20 and 30 minutes away driving wise to the nearest hobby store. And some of them carry Vallejo, some of them don't. A lot of them carry Army Painters, some of them only carry GW stuff. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I haven't found like a Train store or anything that carries just like the whole Vallejo range. Where I used to live, they had a big train store that carried almost at least all the Vallejo model colors. So, and I could order them online, but I'm traveling so much, I just hadn't got around to it. So I had Cantor Blue, and but I didn't have Cantor Blue Air, and I was because traveling so much, and didn't have whole lot of painting time. I didn't really want to order Cantor Blue Air and kind of wait around for it. So what I was doing originally was I had primed these in black. So I primed these bad boy in black, and I was just hand painting Cantor Blue on there, and it was taking me about 3 days. And then on the third or fourth day, my wife came in to just paint with me. She was painting her Saurus, or Seraphon, not Saurus. Well, I mean, they are Saurus, but she was painting her Seraphon models, and she's just using some contrast paint, throwing colors on that she likes. And she finished her Carnosaur in like 2.5 hours, and I was like, so I took the non-airbrush Cantor Blue, because I don't know the ratios of thinner and everything for the original just base paints. And some you can thin easily, some you can't, and it's really weird. I threw them in the Badger, because the Badger will shoot pretty much anything. And I added just drops of this, kind of got the consistency, skim milk, trying to get it all, mix it around. I didn't pre-mix it, I just mixed it in the pot. And then I shot the blue in under 10-15 minutes, got all the blue base coats wherever I needed to get them, and threw down a nice clean smooth layer of blue. You can see in this photo, if you look really closely, there's some paint layer lines that's under this layer, and that's just because I was trying to do it by hand. And shot the airbrush down onto it, and now we're doing the silvers and all the other colors. And I'm using Vallejo Game Gunmetal, the older one. So apparently Vallejo updated their game airline, or their regular game paint line, sometime last year, and I still have a whole bunch from years ago. So I'm just kind of working my way through it. I love Leadbelcher, but Leadbelcher is kind of dries really quickly, even on a wet palette. Has a weird layer, has a weird kind of transition, and also I just don't have a whole lot of Leadbelcher, and I have a lot of this gunmetal. So I was like, let's just use this gunmetal. Let's kind of get it over with. And the first layer is very light, like hard to get down the first layer. The second layer, and if you have to do a third, mostly the second layer seems to be great. Like throw the first layer down there, let it dry, throw a second layer, you're pretty much good. You don't really need a third. In certain places, depending on how the first and second layer went down, I'd had to put a little bit of a third layer on there. But pretty good. I haven't seen what it looked like under any sort of a wash yet, so we'll see how that goes. But doing the silvers right now, I got to finish with the body right here. I got to finish doing the silvers where I want to put silver. Keep some areas just black, just to keep them black, but I got to finish doing the silver, and then I can go back and do a second coat on everything else. So that's kind of what I was trying to do today. Yeah, but during the time while I was just doing simple base coats, my wife knocked out, finished this one Saurus Warrior, looking pretty nice, honestly, and then she knocked out her Carnosaur, an old one, and honestly, he's looking pretty good. And I was jealous about how well she could paint it in such a little time, such a short amount of time, and she just kind of let the paints do what she wanted. She started with a light teal color, then went on to the greens, and then the gold is actually not contrast. She used I think it was either a Vallejo gold. I can't remember which gold I gave her. That she used the pinks from just Citadel and some non-contrast, some contrast. Kind of mixed them in there, some silvers and everything. She just looked at the reference art and then just kind of painted where she wanted to, and she did a really good job. And I was like, all right, okay. And obviously, like, it's being a new painter, like, she pretty much hit everything. Like, I can see a few spots where it was missed, but like, honestly, it's not that big of a deal. And she's like, yeah, all right, cool. And then she had the audacity, the straight haberdashery a few days ago. I know haberdashery is not a word, but well, it's a word, but it's not an insult. Anyways, so one night I was like, man, I really haven't had a lot of time to paint because I've been doing all this and all this. And she's like, well, I don't know what took you so hard. I painted my entire model in 2 hours. So she probably can't hear me because she's probably playing Baldur's Gate 3 or something. But that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully I can get some more painted done. Hopefully by the end of February I have this guy done. That would be good. And I can move on to the actual other Chaos Space Marines I have. One last thing. I've been kind of wandering around. I've been kind of wandering around eBay, and I know I'm not supposed to be buying models this year, and I'm not really wanting to buy models because things be expensive. Groceries getting expensive around here. But
you talking shit in here?
I am talking shit in here.
Are you gonna at least show them?
I did. Yeah.
They look really good.
Yeah, they do look good. Yeah. I just didn't appreciate when you told me that it only took you 2 hours to finish your model, and I'm still messing around with mine.
Well,
yeah,
sucks to suck, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. See, this is what I have to deal with. This is the love of my life. A lot of Taylor Swift lore going on in this house. A lot of hopefully seeing how the Super Bowl plays out. So I've been looking on eBay. So I've talked about it before. The Space Marine Battle Company, the Apocalypse one that came out that had like 100 Space Marines in the box, the old ones. I kind of really want it, but so every once in a while I go to eBay and see if it's available. And I know you can set alerts for keywords, but I just every once in a while, just because if I get bored, I just go on eBay real quick and see if it's available. But I saw something last night, which is a Praetorian Guard box set. Which, if you didn't know, Praetorian Guard were a regiment in the Imperial Guard. They had a full metal line, but when they went to plastic, they never brought it forward. So the same thing with the Vestroyans, and the Valhallans, and the Steel Legion. The Praetorian Guard were one of them, and the Morty 9 Guard. Those were all different Imperial Guard regiments, and so they were metal, and they look pretty cool. Well, apparently this box set is available for sale at a couple different places on eBay. Anywhere from $700 up to like just over $1,000. And I found it and I was just like, I kind of want it. So, but I have an entire Praetorian Guard army using Victoria Miniatures models because they kind of kept the Praetorian Guard helmet and armor style. So I don't need the OG metal models, but I am hoping that at some point we can get a reprint, at least a made-to-order from GW. I mean, if it's this year, it's this year, but I missed out on the Steel Legion made-to-order because I ordered it, but before I had to move, I ordered it before I found out I had to move, and then when I had to move, I tried to get the made-to-order move because I had like a heavy bolter team and a command squad or something, a couple officers. I contacted customer service, says, hey, I have to move. Can I get my made-to-order changed to my new address? And they said no, unless it was in the same state, which sucked because I was moving to a whole different state and I didn't have anybody in the old state that I could have the models mailed to, and then they would mail them to me. So unfortunately, I had to cancel that order. I did get refunded for it, and but it's kind of sucks because there was some Steel Legion models that I wanted, so I can have because I have a whole bunch of metal Steel Legion that I haven't gotten around to painting yet, but those extra models were like heavy weapon teams and some commanders, and it was kind of sad that I wasn't able to get those. It's kind of sad that GW wasn't able to change to a different state, and that for some reason that their system is inflexible to allow that level of customer service. Like the models may not have even been printed. The order may not have even been shipped yet. Why couldn't we have gone into the system and like, oh, okay, so you new order, but now you owe extra on taxes. Okay, well, how do I just like pay that extra charge? Or oh, hey, because you changed to a different state, shipping handling's cheaper, but I think shipping handling's free. Or state taxes are different. Here's the difference. Here's the credit. Like, no way around that. GW is like, sorry, if you're in a different state, we got to cancel the order. That's all we can do. But except for we can ship it to another place in the same state. And I was just like, so I had to deal with that last summer. But anyways, it'd be nice to get some Praetorian Guard. But so, it's just, this is what happens when you don't buy models for over a month. You start to look around. You're like, ooh. But once again, we got other stuff to do. We got things to paint. I think that's pretty much it. Aside from that, I got to head up to another cold place next week. I don't have anything else. Hope you guys have a great one. Hope you're getting some stuff painted. And if not, I hope you're at least having some fun. I will see you around next time. Goodbye.